Hey, I'm Doug. This is Backcountry Pilgrim, a channel devoted to hiking, backpacking, camping, and the Camino. And today I want to talk to you about trekking poles. Hiking, backpacking, camping, and the Camino. If you are into that stuff, hit subscribe if you will, because today you're going to get a chance to win some trekking poles. I'm not typically like a big fan of having a lot of stuff in my hands when I'm walking around, but it seemed like a great number of people were really getting into these, so I decided I would try them out. So that's what I did. I went out to Bass Pro Shop and I picked up these Ascend Acadias. They're basically, I think, just the Bass Pro Shop brand, but they had a number of features that I liked. I like cork grips for the handle. I like that they had the EVA foam extra grip for when you're maybe going over something a little more technical, or if the trail gets a little high next to you, you can just switch up your grip really quick. These are aluminum, and they have a quick lock system, which lets you expand the poles and collapse them very quickly. Now these poles ran about $50, which is not a lot for a decent trekking pole. And I tried them out and discovered that, lo and behold, I like trekking poles. Now you might look at these and say, hey Doug, these trekking poles look pretty much brand new. What do you mean you've been using the trekking poles? Well, the answer is I have not really been using these very much. And the reason for that is that not long after I decided I was a trekking pole guy, I noticed an ad on Facebook about Foxelli trekking poles. Now they were running one of these crazy sales where you have like 10 hours to participate, and I got these bad boys for $15. And I did not expect much. I figured they'd probably be crap, to be honest with you. But I figured for 15 bucks, it would be worth trying them out. If they didn't work out, no big deal. And it would give me a chance to just really beat on some trekking poles and save my good ones for the Camino. The Foxelli poles turned out to be pretty much exactly like the Ascend Acadias. Cork grip, EVA foam handle, aluminum shaft, quick lock release aluminum, weighed the same. Now I have been hammering on these Foxellis for about a year now. I have not treated these poles very kindly. They've been with me on every hike that I've gone on in Yosemite, as well as several others, and I have just beaten the tar out of these things, and for me they've basically been indestructible. And so I decided I would try out some of their other trekking poles. Another set that fold up that you can unfurl, and you just stick them together, and you've got a full-size trekking pole. Now, why would you want poles that fold up like this? Well, basically for storage. So for example, let's say you just have a little day pack and you don't want your poles sticking very high. Once these are in, they're just going to fold down into a nice little package for you. Now, because of the way these are built, there's only one adjustment point. I did notice a slight increase in weight with the foldable ones. On my scale, they came in at 640 grams rather than 570 grams, which is what the standard poles weigh. Now, one thing that you might be wondering is, once those poles are folded up, aren't they just like really big around? Like, it almost seems like that would be harder to get them to pack in some cases. And of course, in some cases they would, depending on how you like to carry your poles. However, on my measurements, going around this thick part of the poles came in at 8 inches around. My regular poles, on the other hand, came in at about 8 inches around at the binding part. So believe it or not, even though you're rolling up 3 poles here, because the bindings aren't in the way or overlapping, it actually comes down to a pretty manageable size. Next, I decided I wanted to give carbon poles a go. I had never had carbon poles before, and to be honest, I wasn't really all that excited about them because I had just heard too many people saying that they broke their carbon poles while they were out on a hike. Now, as far as features, the carbons are basically exactly the same as the aluminums. In fact, they are very difficult to tell apart. As near as I can tell, every single part of these poles is exactly the same as the aluminum ones, except that you have carbon instead of aluminum. Now that carbon drops the weight of the poles down to 440 grams, so we're talking less than a pound now for both of these poles together. I don't personally notice a huge weight difference. I mean, if you hand me both of these and just say which one's lighter, I can tell that this one's lighter than this one, but sometimes every ounce counts, and when it does, the Foxelli carbon trekking poles do the job. Now, as far as strength goes, I took them out on their first hike a couple weekends ago. You can see my video called the Pioneer Express Trail with the bear. I had taken my carbon poles out on this 18-mile hike, and I just decided to go for it. I was going to beat on these trekking poles as hard as I thought I needed to. I was putting my full weight into them, grinding them into rocks, just whatever it took, and they did absolutely fine. Now, I never had them go into a crack and levered them. I didn't fall with them. And I also made sure that I had them set so that each segment was spaced evenly so that there isn't undue pressure on one of the pole segments. However, one thing I would not have normally done with a trekking pole that I did do on this trip was bang them against a tree, because I came upon a bear. I was about 10-12 steps away from a full-size bear climbing halfway up a tree. We looked at each other, he jumped down onto the trail, I jumped back, and since I didn't really have anything loud on me to make noise, I just started hitting the trekking poles up against the nearest tree and saying, "Hey bear, hey bear." So I was pretty much slamming these things up against the tree, and I'm happy to report that they did just fine. Not only did the bear not get me, but the poles came out unscathed. They look great, they feel fine, they performed well for the whole entire trip. Now these typically retail for about $140, but you can probably get the carbon version of these for about 70 bucks. The aluminum retail for around $100, and again, usually they're about half off, so typically you'll see these for about $50. And finally, the fold-up. These retail for $90, and you can usually get them for around $45 or $50. Okay, so that's Foxelli trekking poles. I am a huge fan. I've taken them all over the place. I've never had any issues with them. They're inexpensive. Foxelli's a great company. Get on with it! Okay, it's time for the giveaway. The lucky winner is going to get the fold-up Z-shape aluminum trekking poles from Foxelli. Now, I purchased these myself with my own money. This is not a sponsored giveaway. I am doing this to thank you, my subscribers, and to be perfectly honest, hopefully get some more. So if you want a chance at the giveaway, all you have to do is be a subscriber, like the video, and comment below simply saying I would really like to win the trekking poles. I'm going to pick a winner on June 11th, which is the anniversary of this channel. Now, I said that I would really like to get some more subscribers. It would just be really cool for me if I could hit 1,000 subscribers by the channelversary. So if you know someone that is into hiking, backpacking, camping, or the Camino, if you would let them know about this channel and this contest, they can subscribe and they can enter this giveaway as well. Now here's the deal for you. If you get someone to subscribe to the channel and they enter the giveaway, tell them to not only say, "Hey, I'd really like the trekking poles," but let me know that you sent them. I will send you a pair of trekking poles as well. Full details are in the comments. In a couple of days, I'm going to drop my channelversary video. I will announce the winners on that video, and I will also put the winner's name or names in the comments on this video in case you miss it. All right, that's it for me. I'm Doug. This is Backcountry Pilgrim. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time.